right and
Eh,
center.
unaona
And
kale
when they
kastori
hit,
kabajia.
bam, you're walking outside there, that's when you see, for the people who love shoes, unaona viatu kali. When you're walking, for the lovers of food, you're seeing some bajias, some chiponi, nini, and all that stuff.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? This is Let's Correct podcast, and my name is Tina.
My name is Austin Okinda. This is episode 28, I think. I'm not even sure. But it should be 28.
Episode 28. So, today we're talking about financial literacy. It came across last episode when we were talking about lessons we've learned so far, and it was all about that you need to be literate about your finances. So, like this episode, now we're expounding what financial literacy is all about.
Yeah, by the way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Yeah, so financial literacy is something that is very important, though most of the people do not talk about it. It's something that has been left out for too long, and for us, the young people, when we don't have education on some of these things, we end up crying later in life that we're poor, or that, or the other people are blessed, we're not. It's not that they're blessed and you're not. It's just that maybe how you're doing your things is not the right way to do things. So
I feel like it's an issue that is left for people who have families. Or we assume that I'm still a young person, I can just spend my money however.
Exactly.
Whenever.
Like they usually say, vunja mifuko kama bado kijana. So you understand that ideology makes people feel like, why not? Let me just use my money the way I want. Then when you get to there's this certain age when you get to, now you start wondering, oh, by the way, I wish I would have saved, I wish I would have done that, I would have done this, and all that, etc. Yeah. So this episode today talks about what maybe can help you into ensuring that in the future you don't come and ask people nichangie. Is that the thing?
I feel like nichangie is just okay, but
when you do too much, it's not okay. Like, let me ask you a question before we continue. So today, I'm doing a well-paying job, right? And I'm enjoying myself. Then in the next 3 years, I don't have anything. I come begging the first time, the second time. If I come the third time, will you still help me? Maybe.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. That is it.
So we can start with your point.
Great. So number one, loan understanding and consultation before signing up for one, and interest rates. So there's this thing that people usually do. You ask for loan, you don't even read the terms and condition, you don't even care about the interest rate, you just want to take the money and dash off. So I feel like one of the things that make us feel like we don't have money or we don't have proper finances is we're just taking loans without caring on the details of that agreement paper or the interest rate. And we're there. Then you expect to be a billionaire. So most of us, we fail to see some of this, not because we don't know how to read. It's because we're ignorant. And when you go to the bank, for example, and you take a loan, the bank would be as friendly as your friend would be. When it's time for them to come and auction your things, they won't care if you have children or not. Yote ni kuenda. So that is my very first point.
I feel like interest rates is all about, some people don't even look at the rates. They just look at, they see that they can give me up to 2 million, they can give me up to 10 million, but you don't see what amount of money you're paying per month or even for how long.
Yeah.
Because I understand when you borrow money, you are going to pay back more than you borrowed.
Exactly. When you borrow, you must pay.
Yeah, and it wouldn't make sense if you're paying something that is above 50% of what you borrowed. And that's like just running down things.
Suppose I had a bank. This is just my idea. Don't use it. It's a very dangerous one. Suppose I had a bank I'll make it so affordable for people to come and take loan from it, and make sure that they don't read the terms and conditions, because a true human being, we usually forget to read some of these things. We just skip to the next part where it's signing. You don't read the interest rates. You don't know how you'd be paying it. If I was a bad person, I would have done that. But hey, no one is supposed to do that. So we should stop being ignorant when it comes to some of these things, because that is where now we make the first mistake, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my point number one is saving no matter how little. So I feel like we all spend money without ever thinking of saving. You can even save as little as 20 shillings per day. There's one day you're person to save, because you never know what can happen. Then you just go spend all your money. Then when something just emerges, you're like, oh my god, I'm so broke. It's good to have like a little backup. And saving is very important because it shows how patient you are, because it's something that you're putting there. It is growing slowly and slowly and slowly. If for example I say I want to save 1,000 shillings and I'm saving 20 shillings per day, isifike mahali nimefika 600, then I just say, hey, 1,000 is too much for me to wait ifike. Let me just eat the money, or let me just use it. It's very important for you to exercise patience with your money. Save. No matter how little, save it. It's going to save you some embarrassment. That's all I can say about saving.
I'm forgetting something. There's a word. It will teach you how to be patient, and there's this other word whereby it's okay. It's some sort of self-control. Or but now you're keeping it. You know when you save for a while, and also when you're saving at home, you have this sort of temptations left, right, and center. And when they hit, then, you're walking outside there. That's when you see, for the people who love shoes, unaona viatu kali. When you're walking, for the lovers of food, you're seeing some bajias, some chiponi, nini, and all that stuff. So there's a word. I think I'm still forgetting the word. I don't know what the word is, but saving up also will teach you so many things apart from patience.
Mm.
And when you start doing that, when you're respectful to whatever you're doing, it means that now, even if you have another task outside that is not just saving up, you'll have learned some lessons. So when it comes to saving, yes, saving is okay, and I usually encourage people. And this is a true story. There are friends that I've been working with. I usually tell them, save at least 20 shillings per day. It will help you at some point. By the way, let me share a story. I've been saving coins, no matter how little the coin is, when it's 5 shillings, 10, I usually save it. When I have emergencies, that's now where I get the money from. It's so hard for me to start calling people. Hey, send it. When I call you now, I'm at my endpoint. Sina other way. But that saving, no matter how little the money is, it saves a lot. And it will save you from embarrassment up and like that man who usually, let me not say it. So again, risk management. When I was writing this, or when I was given this one, I didn't understand what it was. Risk management. By the way, what was risk management?
Risk management is when, for example, if you have money and you want to invest, you must understand what risks can come out of me investing. This money can just vanish into thin air. I can be scammed. Anything can happen, literally. I can walk out there, mwizi akuja achukue pesa aende. Do I have a backup plan?
Oh, great. So now, let me now at least I've gotten something to say. So when it comes to risk management, I think most of the young people, when we venture into Bitcoin, I don't know, cryptocurrency and all that stuff, the first time we do it, you're told that you might get a client who is willing to do business with you or not. It's a 50-50 thing. When you get one, it's like you're taking the risk. Now, the question is usually when you get a client that is not willing to do business with you, they are not true to their words. They just want to take from you, then that's how they vanish. Like there's a friend of mine. He invested a lot of money. Then the person who was doing business with him, alitoroka na pesa, went to another country. So when it comes to this, know whatever you're doing. When it involves your money, please, before you do something, look at the risk that you're taking.
You can even go as far as getting legal advice
Yeah, it doesn't cost you a
Yeah.
thing in
It
getting.
does.
Like, it doesn't cost you.
Consultation.
Like, I know what you mean. What I'm trying to say is, when you go and consult, it's not like you'll die. You'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
a little. You'll get some information that will help you and save you big time. I'm just being honest, Papa. Because if I come and talk to you, maybe you're an expert in that field. I come and talk to you. There's some idea that you'll give me. You'll shape my view on some of these things. Then when I'm making a decision, I'm making an informed decision. Costly, it becomes costly when maybe now you're consulting and you need to pay them. But yeah, why not try it out? Take the risk and consult, pay that money. But at the end of the day,
You'll be informed.
yeah,
You'll
you'll
be
be having
making
a
a
lot of
very good
information.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is that do not borrow if you're not earning. How do you expect to pay back when you're not earning? Will you pay back by borrowing again? I feel like this is where we all go wrong. Hata kama ni chumvi, hata kama ni what else do we go kopa kwa duka? Just anything. Don't buy on credit if you're not earning. I mean, I would rather even call your parents, tell them kuna pesa inatakikana kwa duka, but don't put upon yourself to pay that money. You're giving yourself stress that you don't need. You're not earning, so just stop. And I can just say that if you're trying to live a fake life, this is where borrowing comes in. People who live fake lives, you have now a standard to maintain. It's like now you're borrowing to keep on maintaining that lifestyle, but kuna mahali itafika, utashikana.
So Gen Z, any of the young people, this is where we go wrong. We want to set standards, we want to please people, we want to simp and all that stuff. And when it comes to that, we want to borrow money and we don't know how to pay it. I remember back in high school, there were these people who were borrowing from person A, paying person B, then borrow from person C and pay person B. At the end of the term, we're going to go for the whole class. And you're there. Now you don't have anything. You're taking from this person to pay. So now the question is, when maybe I come to you, I ask you for 100 shillings. The next person, I won't ask for 100 shillings. I will need some cash to sustain me for a while. I'll ask for 150 shillings. Then hivyo. At the end of the day, nikiongeza na 50 shillings, probably, let me say I'll be paying back 500 shillings. Looking at the whole time bill, it becomes a waste of time. So I usually say, if you, like just the way you say, when you don't have where you can get, where you're earning, there's no need for you to borrow. I'd rather you go to someone who will help you and won't disturb you immediately that pay me back. They'll take their time. They'll tell you, when you get well now, kwanza nini we lipa. But these people who are usually on your neck, nilipe. Don't ever do that, because that is now where we ask ourselves, Mona, we are poor. We are not, it's not that we are pure. We are just making uninformed decisions just to please people and to set maybe standards and all that stuff. The problem with Gen Z is that we want to set standards. We want to be noticed. That is our problem. Or, yeah, that's basically it. So, my other point is borrow wisely. Now, when you're borrowing, you need to understand why are you borrowing. You need to know how you're going to pay it. You need to know some of the things that we're talking in point one, the interest rates and all that stuff.
Yeah, how long are you paying back?
Yeah.
The money? How much money do you need? What do you need it for?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it something specific? Is this something that... something funny with Kenyans is that they can get a loan just to live a comfortable life.
You want to get a loan just to go to KFC, chicken in and all that stuff.
Yani unataka tu pesa ya mfuko. Then you go and get a loan. My friend,
This is nice.
I won't advise you because I know you're an adult. When you get to a point where you're telling an adult to stop doing something, you're like, really?
They usually say that you can't change the mind of an adult, because if that's their character, it's their character. It's upon them to change.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to tell you is that there are things that you can actually learn that will help you big time in your financial capability or financial situation. I don't know. stability. And let me just say that in future.
Yeah, like for me, I can't borrow anything above 100. Above 100, well, that's too big.
Are
Like
you
it
sure?
feels like a load for me.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, like the maximum I can even reach is 200.
She
Like
has said,
to borrow,
she has
like
said
to
she
buy
can't
something
borrow
on
100.
credit. I'm not saying
I'm getting
okay, borrowing, yeah, I can borrow.
Yeah.
But okay, on terms that someone is giving me something, I don't have to give it back. That's okay. But if you get point nenda dukani, ati I want to copa something
Mhm.
above 200.
We've been using this.
Wow,
example
that is because that is what
where
you
you
suffer
go.
most.
Where you go, right? That's where you go.
Oh wow. Let's just
anyways,
leave it there.
no. Anyways, it's just a conversation. But I'm saying, okay, she's right. There's a way in how you're supposed to be borrowing. You don't just do things to please people. You know what you want, how you're going to pay it, what are the risks, what are the consequences. Whatever you want to use it for, is it really important? Is it a priority? If it's not important, then you don't have to borrow. Because when you start borrowing now, that's when you become poor. And you start saying, oh, nyota yangu imezimwa and all that stuff. You start lying and telling Shetani na amekufanya hivyo. It's not that Shetani. Shetani is not ever to be blamed for everything. There are things that sisi wenyewe, we call it to ourselves, then we start blaming other people. So, when you're borrowing, be wise.
Mm-hmm. My next point is that when you're buying a big sale, make sure that you can afford 10% of the total sale every month. Big sale is like a house, a car. What else looks like a big sale? Sofas, anything that is about 50,000 basically. Make sure, make sure you can afford like 10% of the total amount, because these things need maintenance, especially houses, especially cars. If you can't afford 10% of the total amount of whatever you're buying, just know ujafika your ligi. Yeah, so just don't buy something that is way above you, because it will reach a point where it will overwhelm you. And what is the point of buying something that will just stress you all the way?
Can I give you a story?
Sure.
So there's this relative of mine who, after completing high school, went to live in one of these posh areas. So the mistake that he did is that he went to stay in a place whereby each and every month the house rent increases. So hiyo ilikuwa inamalizia pesa at some point. He had to come back to their place. And people are like, oh, amerudi. So when you're doing something, don't go and take something that will actually be using above 50% of your money and you can't maintain it. Then you ask yourself, nilikosea wapi? The mistake that you did is you went for something that is way above whatever you were making. Then you can't really maintain it after a while. That is the thing. Yeah. So that is it.
That is it.
So my other point is that you should create a budget and stick on it whenever you're going for shopping, whenever you're doing something. Reason being, you see, when I create a budget, I have a draft of whatever I'm going to do. It's like a map that will lead me into doing whatever I'm supposed to do. I have a price for all of these things, and I know this is important, this is not important. So it will help me in not picking things that I wasn't supposed to pick. Maybe there are things, there are things that we usually go and get from these supermarkets and all that. They're not even important. But because we didn't write a list, we just feel like acha nichukue. When you create a budget and you stick on that budget, it helps you save a lot, because you know very well I need margarine, I need tomato sauce, I need salt, sugar, and all that. And this is the price. When you go there, you just pick and go. Then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, you may save 10,000 shillings. You're happy. But imagine now, you don't have maybe you have that budget, but because uliona kuku ikitantan mahali and you felt like, I need kuku, go and take it. Jogo, you've seen a cake, you go and take it. Or you've seen sausage and it was not even in your budget. That is when now we go wrong. So when you create a budget, stick on it. It saves you a lot, and it saves you from embarrassment here. Nani ananga pesa? You know that whenever you're going out with your friends, nani ananga pesa? Why should they say nani ananga pesa? Yet you can save from sticking to your budget. As simple as that.
Yeah, it's important to stick to your budgets. Whatever budgets you have, it's like just stick to it. You know, if you ukikanyaga kwingine umefinya kitu ingine, it means you have to sacrifice again, or you either borrow or buy on credit, which is not wise or it's not good for you. So the next point is getting your credit score right. Credit score is all about when you borrow money. Now, borrowing from a bank, that is, you get loans from the bank, and when you pay back on time, you get points or you get a score. So that if you're consecutive in paying back on time, you get a good score. But if you can't pay back or you delay, you're not getting a good score. So what I mean by getting your credit score right is that when you borrow, make sure you pay back on time, because your score talks more about you. Like at a bank, they will ask you, what is your credit score? And a good one is around 300 to 850, I think. That's just research. Missing to our finances, accounting, no. Just research. Yeah, that's all I can say about credit score.
I have no idea of that point because I've never been interested in anything finance until this episode came. So great. Whenever you just be that person who is I don't know the word. I'm still forgetting that word. But when it comes to paying back your money, just pay it back mapema. And credit doesn't necessarily mean the points in the bank. You know, when you also pay me back my money, next time if you come, I'll also be able to give it to you again. Why? Because you're in my good books. Ulikuja mapema. And that way we can live happily, peacefully. But also imagine now you don't want to give me my money on time. You said on Saturday. It's now 10 Saturdays since you said that Saturday. You haven't paid. Nabado, sorry ni, next week. Don't be that person of next week. The agreement, stick on it. It helps you a lot. Na unajua vizuri, when you get that good score, when you get to the good books of that person, you're so able to actually get help whenever you need it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that pesa yako itaharibika, because I feel like that when you see, if there was a time limit given, when you haven't given that money back on that the said date, it means that the interest will increase somewhat, right?
Yeah.
Then now you end up paying back so much more than the money that you're supposed to be paying. Yeah. So my final point is emergency cash, which honestly, this is the problem with doing something that it's like, I was waking up and told finance. So I'm just surprised. What is emergency cash? Let me try and explain and correct me if it's right or wrong. I feel like emergency cash. Emergency cash is that money that you have and you'll be using it during emergencies, right? Thank you. Clap for me. So guys, sorry for guessing, but anyways, so the emergency cash. You see, when you're saving, I usually tell people that you should have at least 3 types of savings. So you should have that savings for maybe the emergency one. You should just have a savings that's just called savings. Then any other thing that is maybe investments and all that. So the emergency one is only used whenever there's an emergency. Like maybe you went to the hospital, your card isn't working, your insurance isn't working. So the only way and the only place you can get that money from is the emergency, maybe. Or there's that time when fee high call. And maybe you just needed somewhere to get it from. Your friends can't give it to you and all that. That's where you can get it from. So for the emergency cash, you just keep on saving it. You don't use it. For the other one, the savings one, you can use it at some particular point. But for the emergency, it's just for emergencies. Now, emergency imanishi when you're hungry, that is not an emergency, because at the end of the day,
you will be hungry.
Yeah, we are all hungry at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I want to add something about savings that I feel like we forgot. There's that savings account for just saving. Mm-hmm. Then there is the account of saving for something. Like, let's say for example, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to
saving
do
for
a
a
big
purpose.
birthday, a purpose. I feel like
People save
we should put our luxuries towards the saving for a purpose, because it really saves a lot. For example, let's say my gross pay is 50K, right?
Only.
Yeah, 50K only.
And
Let me just
pay.
say the gross, that's after the taxes and the blah blah blah, the NHIS,
Oh,
what.
basically, a route is doing
Now
that
it is
thing.
50K.
Hmm.
I still have rent, I have water bills, I have electricity bills. I want to throw a party. I have to update my wardrobe. Maybe I have a younger brother who needs fare to school. I have parents. Now look at that budget. Girl, get an account. Okay?
For your luxury.
Yeah, for your luxury. Let's say I want to go for vacation. I want to save for 2 whole years during a vacation. I want to go
What are you
vacation
earning,
near
100
Mana.
shillings?
Huh?
Are you earning 100
You're
shillings
not
per month?
earning 100 shillings, but you want to go vacation near Mana. You want to book a plane ticket. You want to go and eat and drink everything that is there. You want to go all the good places. You want to go to the beach. You even want to buy sunscreen.
Wasafiri, I hope you're getting
Yes.
this point, man.
So save for a purpose. It is very good if you put your luxuries towards saving for a purpose. But I'm not saying that it is bad to enjoy life. But there is something good that comes with, oh, I saved and this is the party now we are having. Like, I feel so good, right? It is like an achievement.
There's something with the ladies and updating their wardrobes. I don't know what it is. So when it comes to that, please just have a place where you've written. This one is for my dressing. Yeah, shoes, nini, just have it there, then save it there. It's when you're saving. So when you're saving, save for a purpose.
Yeah.
Don't save it that you're saving for your death. My friend, one thing I usually tell people, don't worry about how you'll be buried, because we will give money. We will give out money. You'll be buried. I mean, like, look at the way people spend when you're dead. No, you've never died, so you can't
They
really
just
understand.
want to give you a decent.
But why?
No.
So for me, I'm like, okay, don't save it for that time. Save
Do you
and
think they
use
do
it.
it for you or for the reputation?
They
of
are
the
doing
family?
it for their own reputation and to set standards.
Exactly.
So that is why I'm saying, when you're saving your money, don't save it for that day, because at the end of the day, we will give it to you.
You know what? Whatever you decide to do with the money,
But-
if you say that is the money you want to be buried with, good.
So what is our work if you can? Let us give you money. So anyways, so as we were saying, so the 2 accounts
Yeah.
have a purpose for saving.
Mm.
Yeah, and
That was
emergency
your
cash.
point.
Yeah, emergency cash, very important.
Yeah. So my next point and the last one is that you look back at your financial flow. I know right now we have this M-Pesa apps, you know? These M-Pesa apps, they show you family and friends. Kuna category basics, I think. There's the category of blah blah blah. You know your app very well. You can even go and check. So family and friends is the money you send to people. Like, let's say for example, I have a child, I'm sending them 300 shillings per day. That only will go to family and friends. Yeah. So that is family and friends. So like, look at where is your money going? Is it going to family and friends? Is it going to transactions? Is it going to parties and do what? Because M-Pesa will record these things. I feel like M-Pesa is being run by people, so they can tell this is a bar, unity number a bar. If maybe they can even check.
They can.
So see where your money is going to, and see, at times you can even meditate. Was that even right? I did something. I spent money on something. Was it even wise? Or you go back and say, oh my God, I should have cut down on this. I should have cut down on that. There's this video that was done. I think it was a survey of how much are students use in a month.
Yeah.
Not someone who was having a spend of 2 million, and they're working, they're still in school. And when you even want to look at them and see your person in happy, there's nothing to show for it.
People are rich outside here. So I feel like when you have a track of how you're using your finances,
Yeah.
it helps you in knowing your priorities. It
Your
helps in
weaknesses.
your weaknesses and your strengths and all that. Because
or areas that you need to improve on?
If you can't just keep track on whatever you're doing, you're bound to fail.
Terribly.
And I usually say there's this video that you usually says failure, failure. That is what you become. But when you're keeping track on whatever you're doing, because ask yourself, why do some of these rich people maintain their status? It's because they look back at what they've been doing.
Well, let me tell you, rich people don't even spend anyhow. They have a budget.
Yeah.
And they will stick to it. No matter what, come rain, come what, that is the budget. So, ulisema unataka hii na hii na hii. You're supposed to say, if you want to change things, say mapema, because they won't be like that. They want to throw money anyhow because they have money. It's like they're still preserving the wealth they've made.
I mean, they know the struggle that they've gone through to get to where they are. So when it comes to that, be smart on how you're doing things. Keep track. Know where your weaknesses lie and work on them. So that when you're maybe 48, no, not 48, when you're 60 years, you don't start begging and calling your friends and, hey, Nani, how much do you have? No.
Ama pesa ya retirement kisha you start looking like you've never
you start calling your children and telling them, niliwalea. Anyways, parents, I'm literally thank you.
We're not even talking about parents, we're talking about
us. I was just saying it. So that's it for me. I think I don't have anything else to say.
Me, I feel like this topic is so heavy. You will get your pesa hadi unasikia pesa.
Anyways, we've come to the end of today's episode. By the way, I've been your hosting. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate your support. We really appreciate our subscribers. Thank you very much for your support, the subscribers that we have, and so many more who are yet to come. God bless all of you.
Yeah.
Any advice? My final advice is that be the boss of your own life. When it comes to choosing friends, choose your friends wisely, people who will build and widen your finances, not waste your finances and narrow it down to almost or nothing. Be smart, and yeah, that's it for me.
That's it.
See you next week on episode 29. Bye.
Ama pesa ya retirement kisha you start looking like you've never
you start calling your children and telling them, niliwalea. Anyways, parents, I'm literally thank you.
We're not even talking about parents, we're talking about us.
I was just saying it. So that's it for me. I think I don't have anything else to say.
Me, I feel like this topic is so heavy. You will get your pesa hadi unasikia pesa.
Anyways, we've come to the end of today's episode. By the way, I've been your hosting. And guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate your support. We really appreciate our subscribers. Thank you very much for your support, the subscribers that we have, and so many more who are yet to come. God bless all of you.
Yeah.
Any advice? My final advice is that be the boss of your own life. When it comes to choosing friends, choose your friends wisely, people who will build and widen your finances, not waste your finances and narrow it down to almost or nothing. Be smart, and yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it.
See you next week on episode 29. Bye.